Galaxy users, stop. You're making a simple mistake that quietly ruins your camera quality, drains your battery faster, and weakens your security, and even slows down your phone, so without even realizing it. So today I'm going to show you the mistakes Samsung users must stop doing immediately and exact settings you should change to unlock the real power of your Galaxy. And even if one of these tips helps you, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below if you are guilty of any of these mistakes. Trust me, everyone has at least one. So the first one is where you're using default camera video settings. So most people record important moments, vacations, kids, events using the default full HD 30 frames per second settings and later feel disappointed by the soft, low detail footage. So when you use your Samsung Galaxy the first time and you open up your camera app, you can see that most people record on full HD at 30 frames per second. So Samsung uses a lower default resolution to save storage, not because the camera isn't capable of more. You never see the true quality unless you manually change it. So as you can see, it's defaulted to full HD and at 30 frames per second. However, you can go ahead and correct this by going to your camera settings and switching the rear video size to 4K or 8K. So here, if you tap on FHD 30, you can go ahead and change this to Ultra HD, which is 4K. 60 frames per second or 30 frames per second, or you can go ahead and turn this up to 8K, which is the highest resolution. So this is a Samsung S25 Ultra, so you will get 8K resolution from there. Now, if you want to shoot at 4K, however, at a higher frames per second, you can go ahead and tap on more, tap on Pro Video, and here you can go ahead and shoot at 4K at 120 frames per second. So your video becomes dramatically sharper, more detailed, better in low light, and looks incredible on a large display. The second one is where you're taking screenshots of video frames. So usually when people watch a video, people usually pause a video and screenshot the screen, ending up with blurry images that have black bars or reduced clarity. So here, as an example, if I go ahead and play this, most people, what they do, they pause the video and then go ahead and take a screenshot. Now, by doing this, you have this black bar here at the top and bottom, and you have these extra toolbars which are visible on your screenshot. So when you take a screenshot, it only captures your screen resolution, not the actual quality of the video file beneath it. So if you want to go ahead and capture the real quality of this video, you need to go ahead and tap on this, and you should find the screen capture button, which is right here. Now you want to go ahead and scrub through your footage, and let's just say I want to go ahead and capture this scene over here. Now, if I want to go ahead and capture this screen, I'll go ahead and tap on this screen capture button. This will now capture the screen and will basically catch it in high resolution. So now if I go back, this is what it has captured. And as you can see, it has captured in a good quality, 8 megapixels quality. So you can use the built-in capture still frame button in Samsung's video player instead of taking a screenshot. So this way you get a high resolution extracted frame with perfect clarity, no black bars, and much better details for saving or sharing with your friends and family. The third one is where you're keeping the screen resolution at full HD. So here I have a Samsung S25 Ultra. Some Ultra model users wonder why their expensive flagship screen doesn't look dramatically better than their older phone. Well, the answer is Samsung defaults to 180p to save battery, leaving the screen far underutilized. So when it comes from factory, it'll be set to 180p resolution. So you need to go ahead and correct this. So to do this, you want to go ahead and open up your settings. You want to go ahead and scroll down and find display. Now from here, you want to find screen resolution. And this is what the resolution you'll be at. However, you can go ahead and change this to QHD. The first one is your basic visual, lowest battery use. Second one is your improved visual, moderate battery use. QHD is the sharpest visual, however, the most battery use. So if you want the sharpest visual, I recommend you choose QHD, which is Quad HD Plus screen. This way your text becomes razor sharp, your videos gain details, and your photos look more realistic, and the overall UI feels far more premium. So once you're happy with that, press apply, and that will be applied to your phone. The fourth one is where you're using the light mode all day. So people use their phone at night and immediately blind themselves, or they complain that their battery drains too quickly. So on the S25 Ultra or any other Samsung Galaxy device, you have a AMOLED screens, so the white pixels require more power while the black pixels turn completely off. So the light mode constantly forces the entire display to stay lit. So what people tend to do is that they leave it on light mode. Now to correct this, you need to go ahead and turn on the dark mode. So to do this, you want to go ahead and bring down your settings, scroll down and find display. From here, you want to go ahead and choose dark mode. So I already have dark mode enabled. However, light mode, as you can see, all of your pixels are working and lighting up. Now, if you go ahead and choose dark mode, this will basically save battery. So you extend battery life, you reduce eye strain, you enjoy a cleaner UI, and even it reduces a long-term burn-in risk to your screens. The fifth one is where you're using 5G in weak coverage areas. So users in poor 5G area often get slow data, dropped connection, and terrible battery life without knowing the cause. So when 5G is weak, your phone constantly hunts for a better signal, which drains power and slows down everything. So to correct this, you need to go ahead and switch your network mode to 4G or LTE when 5G in your area is unreliable. So as you can see, currently I am on 5G, however, I have only 2 bars. So in this case, my phone is basically looking for a signal, for a 5G signal. However, the signal is not really strong. So what I can do here is switch it to 4G and get a better signal. So to do this, I'll go ahead and bring down my settings menu. I'll go ahead and scroll down, find connections. Now I'll go ahead and scroll down and find mobile network. From here, I'll go ahead and find the network mode. And from here, I'll go ahead and choose 4G preferred. So I'll get a stronger signal, better speeds, and more stable performance, and significantly better battery life. The sixth one is where you're using an old charger that doesn't support 45 watt. So people often complain that the phone charges slowly, but they're using a 10-year-old slow charger. So when you buy a new phone, like my Samsung S25 Ultra or maybe the other iPhones, you need to also update your charger. Samsung's modern phone requires 45 watt USB-C PD-PPS chargers to reach their super fast charging 2.0 speed potential. So if you go ahead and use a 5-year-old charger on a new phone, you won't get that speed what was advertised in the Samsung website. So you need to go ahead and use an official 45 watt PPS charger or certified alternatives. So here I have a stand. This is from Belkin Player. And this supports a 15 watt charger, and this basically gives me quick charging. It doesn't give me super fast charging, it just gives me quick charging. So this way your phone charges much faster, stays cooler, and maintains a better long-term battery health. The seventh one is where you're manually closing all the background apps. Are you in a scenario where you have a lot of apps and you repeatedly hit close all apps thinking it speeds up the phone or frees up your memory? Well, the answer is no. Android keeps background apps in a low power sleep state. Closing them forces the system to reload the app from scratch, using more power and slowing things down. So the correction to this is stop force closing any apps. So if you have apps in your task switcher, stop closing them, leave them alone. Let the phone manage your RAM automatically, as all of these apps are in a low powered sleep state. So once you stop doing this, your phone stays faster, battery lasts longer, and the apps resume instantly without any constant reloads. The eighth one is where you're not rebooting the phone regularly. So are you in a scenario where you are experiencing lag, glitches, and freezing? If yes, then there's a solution to this. So a lot of people experience lag, glitches, and freezing, but they never restart their phone for weeks or even months. Android builds up a temporary process over time without a reboot, so small bugs accumulate and slows everything down. So the correction to this is you need to go ahead and turn on an auto restart in device care so the phone reboots automatically during the night. So let me show you how you can do this. So bring down your settings, scroll down and find device care. Scroll down and find auto optimization. And now from here, find auto restart. And here you need to go ahead and select restart on schedule. So you need to go ahead and set a schedule of when to restart. So let's say, for example, Monday, 3 o'clock in the morning, your phone will automatically restart. So you can go ahead and set this for all. So your phone basically restarts every day at 3 o'clock. So this way your phone stays smooth, stable, fast, and almost like brand new every day. The ninth one is where you're unlocking the phone before using AOD fingerprint sensor. So some users wake the phone first before scanning their fingerprint, waiting for the icon to appear. Well, the AOD fingerprint reader is already active even when you don't see the icon. So the correction for this is just need to place the finger on the sensor area directly while the always on display is showing. So here I'll go ahead and lock my phone and the fingerprint scanner is right here. So instead of just waking it up and finding the fingerprint scanner to scan your phone, you can go ahead and just place your finger there and it'll basically unlock your phone. So no more unlocking the phone before using the AOD fingerprint scanner. So your phone unlocks instantly, looks faster, and saves battery by skipping unnecessary wake-ups. The 10th one is where you're allowing passwords to be visible when typing. So typing a password in public lets the last characters appear briefly, easy for everyone around you to see. So this feature is meant for convenience. It creates a huge security risk in the public environment. So to fix this, you need to go ahead and turn off Make Password Visible in Security and Privacy settings. So I'll go ahead and open up my settings, scroll down and open up Security and Privacy. Next, I'll go ahead and scroll down and find More Security Settings. And here we'll go ahead and find this setting called Make Password Visible. So you need to go ahead and show password characters briefly as you type. So you need to make sure this is turned off. So by doing this, you protect your account from shoulder surfing and you keep your sensitive info hidden at all times. And lastly, the 11th one is where you're taking multiple screenshots of long pages. So usually users screenshot long articles or recipes in 10-20 separate images and struggle to organize them later. So here I have an article. It goes quite long. And usually what happens is if someone wants to take a screenshot of this article, someone will take a screenshot, scroll down, then take the second screenshot, scroll down again, and we'll take the third screenshot. And like this, they'll go ahead and take screenshots until the end of this page. So Samsung has a built-in scrolling screenshot tool that many people don't realize captures the entire page automatically. So instead of taking multiple screenshots, you can go ahead and take one screenshot and tap the down arrow button until the full page is captured. So let me show you how to do this. So here we'll go ahead and open up the article. We'll go ahead and take a screenshot. And now you'll see a toolbar at the bottom left here. You'll see the arrow. So we need to go ahead and tap on that arrow. So what this will do is this will scroll for you and will take a screenshot. As you can see, this is a preview of your screenshot and this is showing you what you have captured. And as I go ahead and scroll down more, each time your screenshot is getting longer and longer. So I'll go ahead and do this until the end of the page. Now I'll stop here. Now I'll go ahead and press home. I'll go into gallery and I'll go ahead and view my screenshot which I've taken. So as you can see, this is the long screenshot. To read this, I just need to go ahead and zoom in, read this, and scroll down, just like I'm reading an article on the web page. So you get one clean, organized image, easier to save, share, review, or reference. No more screenshot clutter. And that's it. The biggest mistakes Galaxy users need to stop doing right now. If even one of these tips made your phone better, do me a huge favor, like this video, subscribe for more Samsung content, and comment below which mistakes you were guilty of. Thanks for watching and enjoy your newly optimized Galaxy.